Chris Toy, and today we're going to make fresh handmade pasta. So why don't we get started? Over here we're going to start with the sauce, and the sauce is going to be very simple because this is going to be about the pasta. So let's just get the sauce going and we'll let it kind of simmer as we work on the pasta. The ingredients for the sauce are very simple. We'll have 3 cloves of fresh garlic, and all I'm going to do here is I'm going to crack open the garlic clove right here, and then I'll use the side of my cleaver and just crush that, and we'll add that to our other 2 cloves. So that's very coarse but well bruised. And the other ingredient will be fresh grape tomatoes, which I will cut in half, just like that. And so let's head on over here, and I'll take just maybe a 1/4 cup of virgin olive oil, and we'll put that on high-medium heat. And we'll brown up our garlic. And we'll add our tomatoes. And now for the fun part, we'll put in about 1/4 of a stick of butter. And you can see that the garlic is browning up. And then I'm going to grind up a little bit of garlic and pepper right into this. It's really great nowadays, you can get these spices where you can grind it up right out of the container. We'll let that butter just melt right up. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because you don't want it to burn. So that's on low. And then, just to slow things down a little bit, just a dash of wine. Maybe a tablespoon or 2. There. And we'll just leave that alone until it's time for the pasta. So, let's go to the pasta. And what I like about making the pasta, this is fresh pasta. We're going to be using white whole wheat flour, which is a little bit lighter than the stone ground flour. And we'll be using a hand cranked pasta maker, and this is a kind of a classic. It's made by the Atlas Company, and you can pick these up for probably $60 or $70 at a kitchen store. You can also find them for much less at flea markets or online. I think these probably end up being wedding presents, and then people don't use them and they put them on the market. But I've got to tell you, they make the best pasta, and it's pretty easy. And I'm going to be doing this. You can hand knead the pasta dough, or you could use this really nice simple method. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two kinds today. I'm going to make a simple egg pasta, and I'm going to start off with about a 1/4 cup of flour, and I'm going to do the equivalent of sifting it. I'm just simply going to kind of get the air into that so it's nice and fluffy. And I'm going to take 1 egg, break that egg, oops, right in. And then I'm going to pulse this, and what you'll see is that the dough gets formed quite quickly, and it's still quite wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gradually add probably a tablespoon at a time to pasta. And what I want to have happen is I want to have the dough form into a ball. But I want it so that the dough that's on the side is being incorporated into the ball of dough. You have to do this very slowly, because if you add too much, then you're going to have to add liquid. So I've done this a few times before, so we're pretty close to the way it should be. But you'll see it's formed a nice elastic dough. So what we'll do now is I'm going to take a little bit of flour just into this pan. And I'm going to go over here and get ready to roll this out. Now, just a real quick explanation of the Atlas pasta machine. There's a little C-clamp right here that just clamps that right to the countertop. And if you look over here, there's a knob. And it has the numbers 1 through 7, I think. Yes. 7 is the thinnest, and 1 is the widest. And you want to start on 1. And what you're going to do is you're just going to form this into kind of a little sausage shape. And here's the crank. It's on the widest setting. And you're just going to crank that right through just like that. Put a little flour on this and fold it in half so I get a nice straight edge. Crank that through one more time. There we go. Now I'm going to make it a little thinner, just flouring it a little bit each time. A little thinner. So I'm on number 4 now, so it's thinner than it was. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of dusting it with flour so that it doesn't stick too much to the rollers. I'm folding that in half, so I want that nice straight edge. I'm going to go to 5 now. And I don't think I'll go to the thinnest one. I'll probably go to 6. So it's getting thinner and thinner. Let's go along. Smells good. So let's get this in here. And then we'll go to number 6, and that's going to be the thinnest we're going to make it. Oops. There we go. So you'll see when you have this little rough part here, that just means it's a little bit wet, and so I'm going to just have to put a little flour on it. So we'll do that. Let's fold it in half one more time. And here we go. So once you've put that through, so this is a little bit long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. This. So I have a nice straight edge. And what I'll do now, I'm going to switch this out. And you have a choice on this one. You can make wide noodles or you can make very thin noodles. I'm going to make the wider noodles. And just feed that right in. And you'll see those noodles coming out right under here. And I forgot to mention this, but you're going to need a place to put these noodles, and what I've done is I have just strung a bungee cord right across. And we could cook these right now, or we can dry them and just put them right into a Ziploc bag. And there we have some fresh egg noodles, egg pasta. So before we cook these, I think what I'll do is I'll show you how to make another type of pasta. And we're going to make a spinach and pesto pasta. So let's do that, but let's first check on our sauce here. So our tomatoes are nice and soft. The garlic is browned up. So this will be a nice sauce. Nice and light. I'm going to put on a little bit more wine. Maybe a tablespoon or so. There we go. Great. So let's make some spinach pasta with some pesto. So we're going to start out almost the same way, except the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in, we have some spinach here. This is baby spinach. And I'm going to, and it's about, a handful of spinach. Maybe a cup of spinach. If you like a stronger flavor, certainly you can use full-grown spinach. This is baby spinach. And I'm also going to put in maybe a tablespoon of pesto. Now, during the season, it would be great to use fresh pesto. But it is February in Maine, and so we are not going to have fresh pesto unless we have a greenhouse. So what I'm going to do is I am going to puree this up. So you can see that's pretty much chopped up. Now we'll proceed as we did with the regular pasta, except a little bit more. More ingredients. So we'll kind of puff this up. So we're mixing this in. So there you have it's kind of like green flour. And we'll take our egg, we'll break that right in. Pulse that. So this is going to take a little bit more flour simply because of the liquid content of the leaves. So this is looks like more like a puree right now. But remember, our goal is to put in just enough so that it forms a ball. So we'll put that in there. And we'll go, maybe a tablespoon at a time. Starting to happen. We'll need a little bit more flour. Again, you want to be careful you don't put too much in. You'll notice that at first it kind of breaks it all up. And then as the flour gets mixed in, it starts to form the ball. And that's what we want. So let's take a look at it. And what you want is you want to feel that and make sure that it's sticking to my fingers. You don't want that. So we're going to need a little bit more, not much more, it's like a teaspoon or so. There we go. And I'll put some there. So, great. So I'm just going to make half of this at a time. There's a little bit more. Again, it's a little bit more because of the liquid that's in the leaves. And we want to start on one. If you stayed with me this long from the beginning, you know exactly what we're going to be doing now. Push that through and look at that nice green color. It smells great too. Put that through. Get that nice straight edge. Make it a little thinner again. So we're up to number 4. 4 out of 6. So we're moving right along. You can't smell this, but it smells exactly like pesto. So we're on number 5. We're almost home. We've got one more on number 5 before we switch to 6. Alright. And then to 6. Okay, So you can see this is a little bit wet. It's kind of stuck to the rollers a little bit. But we can just dredge this through. Like that. Just to dust it a little bit. And then one more time. And I'll just slice this. Probably better not to use my fingers on that. There we go. So we have that nice straight edge. We'll switch this over. What do we want to make the skinnier ones? We'll do a different style this time. So we'll just switch this over here. And then we'll line this up. There we go. Oops, looks like there might have been some that got stuck in the rollers, but that's alright. So there you have it. And what we're going to do now is we are going to go right over here and we are going to boil these guys up. There we go. And there's a little bit of salt in this water, which is good. I've got that on high. And the skinny, this thin pasta is not going to take as long to cook. So what I'll do is I'll first we'll cook the thicker noodles that we've made here. Now what's great about this, when you make these fresh, they only take between 2 and 3 minutes to cook. So it's not like the dry pasta. Give that a quick stir. And then we'll kind of gently put in our pesto pasta. And that literally will take 2 minutes maximum to cook. So let's turn that right off, and that's ready. Alright. Here's our sauce. Great. So let's get a bowl. And our sauce. And there we have fresh, homemade, handmade pasta. Thanks for joining us at 2010 Tube, and we'll see you next time.